Welcome to this yoga class today. We're going to do a combination of both the yang, or the regular hatha yoga, which focuses on developing strength and flexibility and balance, and yin yoga, which is connective tissue lengthening for structural realignment and opening up spaces in the joints. So both of them have very many more benefits, but we're going to just combine them today. Start out more with, after the warm-up, focusing on the hatha yoga, and then we'll transition into the yin. And so you'll go from this more active into a quieter practice and get the benefits of both of those. So we're going to use a mudra called Purna Svara mudra, which means whole or full breath. Also another basic tenet of yoga, to engage with the breath consciously. So how you do this is you are bringing the fourth finger, or the baby finger, I'm sorry, down into the root of the thumb. So if this is challenging, just bring it down anywhere along the root of the thumb that you're able. And then the fourth finger goes into the second crease of the thumb digit. And then the middle finger goes to the tip of the thumb of the digit. And the index finger just points out. So you're going to start in Virasana, in a kneeling position, and adopt this mudra. Again, the baby finger at the root of the thumb, the fourth finger at the first digit thumb crease, and the middle finger at the top of the thumb, and the index finger points out. So once you're in Virasana, kneeling position, with whatever supports you need, just rest your hands on your thighs, close your eyes, and inhale slowly and deeply. So we're connecting with the fingers touching on the thumb to create deep breath into the belly. And as you exhale, release and dissolve tension that you notice, consciously letting it go of the physical body. Second deep breath, feel that breath going more into the middle lungs, front, sides, and back. Again, exhaling out any tension you notice. And then the last breath, you're not only going to fill up the lower and the middle part of the lungs, you're going to be aware of the filling up of the higher part of the lungs. Chest, collarbones, upper back. Again, using the exhale to dispel any tension in the physical body, especially throughout the torso. Continue this deep, full breath, filling up the lower, the middle, and the upper lungs in a three-dimensional span, so front, sides, and back. Letting go from the top down to the bottom. So filling up like you'd be filling up a glass of water, and emptying like you're emptying out a glass of water from the top down. Coming into the present moment. Continue this deep, conscious breathing. And what this mudra is about, connecting to the breath, connecting to the whole of the breath. What this does is it really facilitates the healing and optimal health of all the bodily systems, so all the physical systems, from the skeletal all the way to the nervous and endocrine systems. So whichever system or systems may be imbalanced or not at perfect health for you, just reflect upon that. You'll bring that into your intention. Releasing tension from the body is key here. Ultimately, this mudra helps us focus on integrating body, mind, and spirit. Reflecting upon perhaps where you feel a little disjointed between these various realms of being, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And set an intention for the practice so that you integrate these. You bring them fully on board, all systems healthy, healed. Imagine it, feel into that, and then use some words to affirm it internally. And then send your intention out into your practice today, out into your future, moment by moment. Release the mudra in the hands, stretch through the fingers, thumbs, hands, and wrists. Open your eyes. So from here, you're going to come off your lift, move whatever supports you had out of the way, and then we're just going to do a little warm up here. So we're going to start on the shins, lower legs, parallel planes. Inhale and raise the arms as you press down through the feet. Exhale and reach forward and walk the hands forward. So you can send the sit bones back, lengthen the spine, pull the shoulders in joint, roll them away from the neck so that there's lots of good space. Inhale and come forward into half plank. And as you exhale, bend the elbows along the side body. Use your core to lower down. Inhale, come into a baby cobra. Draw the elbows back. Lift the heart. Stretch across the collarbones. Release back down. As you inhale, press back up into half plank using your core. Exhale and stretch the hips back. Variation on child's pose. Lifting the upper arms so they're not collapsing here or the forearms. And then inhale and slide the arms back up. Use your feet and core. Reach the arms back up. And exhale and repeat. So hands come down, they walk forward, lift the arms up, roll the shoulders out. Maybe the brow comes to the floor. Inhale and come forward into half plank. Exhale, use the core to lower down. Inhale, baby or a little bit higher cobra. Release on the exhale. Inhale, press back up, half plank. Exhale, send the sit bones back. Inhale, rise back up, pressing through the feet, using the pelvic floor, lifting up, reaching arms up, exhale and bow down. Kind of a mini sun salutation. Inhale, come forward to half plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, just warming up the spine into a cobra here now. Release back down on the exhale. Inhale, press back up, half plank. Exhale, back into child's pose. From here, come forward, and we're going to use the lower core here as well as strengthen in through the glutes. So you're coming into table position. Inhale, raise the right knee up. The knee is bent here up to hip height. Try not to collapse the elbows or let the left hip drop over. Then extend the leg fully out. Pull it back on the exhale and down. Other side. Inhale, left knee comes out. Continue the inhale as you straighten the leg. Exhale, pull the knee back in and down. Right side again, inhaling, extending out, exhaling, lowering down. Left side. Just using the core here, really important to keep the pelvic floor actively moving up. Left side, as well as pubic bone to navel, navel in towards the spine. And again, right side. Inhaling as you lift and open. Exhale as you bend the knee and return it back down. One more set. Right side. And then simply just rock the hips a little side to side. And prepare to come into downward facing dog. So Walking the hands forward or just placing them so they're shoulder distance or maybe a little wider with the fingers and thumbs spread wide. Engage the core, lift the knees, press back through the hands, open the armpits, pull the shoulders and joints so the neck's nice and long, and try and float your ears down along the inner arms towards the elbows so the neck stays long but soft. Take a few breaths here. Working to send the hip creases up and back. So remove the blanket out of the way. Then walk the feet towards the hands until you're in standing forward fold. Bring your hands to your hips. Strengthen your connection with the earth through the feet, legs, pelvic floor, pulling that energy up into the core as you come up, releasing the arms down, standing mountain position. Just feel your connection to the earth and the heavens from the feet, pelvic floor, through the crown of your head. Inhale, raise the arms up, and as you exhale, fold forward, walk the hands forward, and step the feet back, coming into a down dog. Inhale forward into plank or lower the knees into half plank. Lowering down, either knees first or the whole body. Inhale, lift a little higher perhaps this time, but be conservative for your low back into cobra. Release back down. Inhale, back up into full plank or half plank and then full plank. Exhale back to down dog. Step your feet forward one at a time. At the front of your mat, fold forward. Standing forward, fold. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale the hands to the heart. Come back to standing mountain position, connected at the heart. Next inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale and fold forward. Letting head dangle. Inhale, come halfway up with the spine as parallel to the floor as you can. Exhale, release it back down. Inhale, step the right foot back. Bend the front knee. Inhale, rise up to warrior one. Exhale, bring the hands back down. Lift the back heel, step your left foot back, come to down dog. Inhale, float forward into plank, nice and strong through the core, shoulders open to the back body, lower down, can be from half plank or full plank. Inhale, cobra. Keep the spine long, shoulders moving back. Release back down as you exhale. Inhale, back up, half or full plank, moving to full plank if you're in half. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhale, stepping the right foot forward, anchor the back heel. Inhale, press down to lift up, warrior one. Bending the knee deeper on the exhale. Inhale, bring the hands back down, step the back foot forward. Forward fold from a standing position. Inhale and rise back up. Hands together in prayer position, bring the back to the heart. Pause with the breath in between, connecting again as a mountain to the earth and the heavens. Inhale, raise the arms up. Maybe arch back a little more, engage the core as you do so. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale and release back down. This time, step the left foot back. Line up the arch with the right foot. Pressing down, inhale, rise up into warrior two. Inhale, make sure you're positioned beautifully, shoulders over the hips, nice deep knee bend, nice strong left quadricep, thigh pushing back, tuck the tailbone. Align the head, and as you exhale, turn the gaze to the right, over your right fingertips. Inhale here. And as you exhale, come into reverse warrior two with the right arm reaching up, switching the gaze over to the left hand, which reaches down towards your left foot. Inhale, come back up into the warrior two, straighten your right leg and come into triangle pose. Feel free to use a block here underneath your right hand. Keep the shoulders stacked, arms and hands stacked, and slide down with a nice long spine. Inhaling here, open the heart. Exhale and unwind, bend the front knee, bring the hands back down. Step your right foot back, come to down dog. Inhale, raise the right leg up and back. And as you exhale, try to lower your left heel. Reach your right foot up, back as high as you can so that you're opening the armpits, neck nice and long. Inhale here, lifting the left heel. Lower the right foot. Exhale, try and lower both heels. Inhale, lift the heels, lift the left leg up and back. Keep the upper leg, the left leg, thigh rolled in so the toes point straight back. You're not turning the leg out, you're not twisting it out. Try and lower your right heel on your exhale. Keeping arms strong, lifted, shoulders in joint. Inhale, lift the right heel. Exhale, lower the left leg. Inhale, come forward into plank or half plank. Exhale and lower down. Inhale, lift the heart, cobra, shoulders come back, chest broadens, anchor through the navel, moving in and up towards the spine and towards the lungs, diaphragm. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift to half plank or full plank. Exhale, back to down dog. Next inhale, step your left foot forward. Line it up with your right arch. The back foot and firmly engaged to the earth. Prepare to come up to warrior two. Come up partway if you need. Swing the right arm forward to help the lift. Nice deep knee bend. Align the shoulders above the hips, crown of head above pelvic floor. On your exhale, turn the gaze to the left, over your left fingertips. Awareness of the right fingertips reaching out. From here, inhale, lifting the left arm and coming into reverse warrior two, changing the gaze to the right fingertips as they reach towards the right foot. Opening up the left side waist, softening the neck, keeping head, neck in alignment with the shoulders and the hips and the feet. Inhale, come back up into warrior two prep. Open up the left knee, straightening that leg, and exhale and come into triangle pose on this side. Nice deep breaths here as you go deeper, keeping the alignment of the arms and hands through the heart, nice and open. If the neck has tension, turn the gaze towards the floor. Just adjust accordingly to relax the neck and head. And then bend the front knee, unwind, bring the hands back down. Lift the back heel and step the back foot forward. Standing forward fold, head dangles. Inhale, rise back up. Arms overhead, palms come together, and then at the heart. Just feeling now the warmth and the circulation, the strength increasing, the flexibility increasing. So from here, we're going to do balancing poses. So starting with tree pose, Vrikshasana. Come into a nice, solid standing mountain pose. So bring your attention to your feet. Feel like the inside and outside edges of your feet are evenly weighted, and as well between the feet. Pressing down, squeezing the outer thighs to the inner thighs, connect with the pelvic floor, lifting it up, feeling the alignment happen subtly through the spine. right up through the head and the crown, reaching up. Shift the weight to your right leg, unweight the left, bring the knee up and out, and anchor the left foot into the inner right thigh, pushing the thigh into the foot and the foot into the thigh. Keep pulling up on the pelvic floor. Feel how that brings steadiness. Come into your version. So if this is a challenge for you, you might have the toes on the ground or the toes on a block. So if it's more manageable for you, perhaps you've got the arms out, the tree limbs, blowing in the wind perhaps. And then bring the hands to the heart and release the foot. Massage the standing leg foot and come back to standing mountain position. Again, squeezing the outer edges, both sides and the front and back, towards the center to really get that central channel muscularly and energetically connected to the earth and the heavens. Shift the weight to the left leg, unweight the right, let the right knee come out and to the side, and then again, anchor the foot into the inner thigh. So for me on this side, I'm really struggling these days because I have a bad left knee. So it's quite weak through that area, but it's even more reason to be really working with the strength that I'm trying to increase here, but use supports that you need. Hands come together at the heart. Perhaps the arms come out as a tree. And then bring the hands together, release the foot back to the ground, massaging standing leg, foot, leg, feet, nice and even now, standing mountain position. And we're going to do another one, bending the knees. Inhale, shift the weight to the right leg, unweight the left, roll the knee out, and bring the outer ankle of that left foot on your right thigh. Bend the knee as if you're coming into chair position. Nice deep breaths as you go down a little deeper. And then as you inhale, straighten up that right leg, release the left foot back to the floor and massage it in. Inhale here, standing mountain position. Exhale, bend the knees. Draw the sit bones back and down as you pull up on the lower core. Shift the weight to the left leg, unweight the right, and bring the outer ankle of that right foot, leg, onto the left knee thigh. So if this is really challenging for you, for whatever reason, for me it's because of my knee, you can use a wall or perhaps the back of a chair, or you can use blocks on the floor to help with the balance so that you bring the hands onto those. And then you'll gain all the benefits without any more injury or also just being able to do it. So really opening the hip rotator here, the right side, then inhale and release back up and foot back to the floor. So from here, we're going to come into a squat position. So widen feet, toes wider than the heels, just in the orientation so that when you bend your knees, they track over the toes. And as you sink down, you're going to support underneath the heels if they want to come up so that you, over time, have more flexibility, range of motion in the ankles themselves. So however low you come down, and if you've got knee challenges, you can sit on something, sit on a stack of blocks, or even just come down as low as you can. And then if you are able, bringing the upper arms in between the inner thighs and pushing against the inner thighs, knee area, and pushing the legs into the arms, lifting the heart, hands in prayer position, and bring your hands to your heart. One more nice full deep breath. Feel the 3-part breath. Lower lungs into the belly, deeper, middle lungs, upper lungs, and releasing it in reverse order from the upper to the lower. And then you're going to release, and we're going to come onto our knees and hands again. I'm going to shift now into the yin positions. So from a table position, you might, if you like, come into a down dog in order to come into swan position. So in hatha yoga, this is pigeon prep. So you're going to bring your right knee forward and out to the right and angle the lower leg so that it's not going to hurt the knee at all. Over time, as you go deeper with this, the lower leg is going to come more parallel to the short side of the mat. So but wherever you're at, where you get a nice opening, slide your left leg, the back leg, as far back as you can. And if you like or need, so the essence of yin postures are that you find a position that you have a really good stretch in, and then you come into stillness and just breathe with it and hold it for 3 to 5 minutes. So typically 3 minutes if it's a 2-part, side to side, or 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes if it's a 1-part. So for this, you can support underneath in this side, the right buttocks, glute area, so that you can really relax the left leg and go into the sensation. So however high you need that, or not. Letting the right glute just rest, feeling the stretch. And we're just going to spend the first minute in upright swan, this is called, in the yin position. Softening your mouth, your face, your jaw. Making sure in this position you're not compressing the low back. So that means you're engaging from the pelvic floor through to the pubic bone into the navel, drawing that plane back towards the back body and up towards the diaphragm. So even though you're trying to relax the muscles as part of a yin practice, you are engaging some here just to protect the low back if that's an issue for you, if you tend to collapse and have a lot of mobility in through the pelvis. And then we're going to shift into sleeping swan, so the upper body's going to come down. So slide the hands forward, perhaps coming onto forearms. So if you come down onto your forearms and your spine is really rounded, then come up onto blocks, however high you need, keeping them nice and wide so that the spine is more parallel to the floor. If you can come down onto your forearms, keeping the spine really long, so pulling it along so that it's parallel as much as possible with the floor, with your mat, and then drawing the belly forward out of the anchoring points of the legs and hips, drawing the chest forward, softening the shoulders away from the ears, perhaps resting the forehead, the brow point, on a lift, so that you keep the head in plane, in the same alignment as the spine. Just feel how this changes the sensations in the body. relax into it. So if you cannot do this pose due to knee problems, it just causes a lot of pain, never want the sharp pain. The dull stretching is what we're going for, dull ache of stretching. We're going for that stretching in the joints here and not the pain. Then you can always flip over on your back and do a similar configuration of bending the knee, drawing it out to the side, and holding it in place, and still gets a nice opening through the hip rotators. The last standing pose we did was also focused on a variation on opening the hip rotators there, because they're so essential to maintaining health in through the legs below and the pelvis and spine above. Nice long deep breaths as you use the breath, the full yogic breathing, to stay present, to work with whatever resistance is in the physical body, to observe and notice where there's tension and to consciously let it go. Preparing to come out of this now, lift the head, engage the core, lower and middle, to bring the hands back up. Curl the back toes under, not that left foot. Lift the left knee, and then slide your right leg back and massage, kind of pedaling the legs and the feet to integrate and circulate that nice deep opening you just created. And then set up for the other side. So left knee comes forward, out to the left side edge of the mat. Slide your right leg back as much as possible. Maybe one side you need a lift and the other side you don't. Again, because I'm having knee issues here on this side, I'm actually going to support the buttocks here so I don't go so deeply into this that I'm aggravating the already present knee issues. So unless this compresses your low back, and you should forego this and just spend longer in the sleeping swan, the upright swan here is with the hands closer to that front knee leg. So the spine lifts up and has a nice continuous curve from the tailbone right up through the crown of your head. Notice if you're clenching in the shoulders, soften them away from the ears and to the back body. So the chest relaxes but opens. The middle belly is nice and open and stretching. And then go into your breathing. And now transitioning into sleeping swan, letting the hands slide forward so you come onto the forearms. Have them parallel to each other, wider than shoulder distance, so that you can really feel into the openness of the belly and the chest in the front body. Again, If this rounds the spine, when you're on the forearms on the mat, then have the forearms on your blocks. Either the flatter or the second height of the blocks. And if you're able to come down a little lower, low enough that you can rest the forehead on a lift without rounding the spine, then do so. So keep the front of the neck, the throat open, the chest open and broad, the front belly open. So the back is more flat than rounded. So the aim is to keep the central channel and spine open as you open up through the hips, the glutes, hip rotator muscles here. Just feeling where you're feeling sensation and relaxing into it. Prepare to come out of this now, lifting your head, walking the hands back. And then this time you're going to slide your back leg, your right leg around to the front. If you're on any lifts, remove them. And then just do some movements through the leg from the hips. Just noticing also the more openness that's there. Moving through the knees, the ankles. And then the next one we're going to do requires a belt. So have a belt. You can have a loop in it or not. And if your hamstrings are tight, or there's tightness from the hamstrings through the glutes, lower back area, then sit up on as high a lift that accommodates you to have the natural curves of the spine when you're in Dandasana. So for this, the first side, we're going to bend the left knee and bring the right outer ankle on the thigh somewhere. So if the knee is very high, because there's a lot of tightness, we're continuing this theme of opening those glutes and the hip rotators, then you're just going to have the lower leg closer to the knee, or even bring it off onto the floor, more like in the pose called Janu Shirshasana, pose facing the east. So if the leg on the foot on the floor allows you to have the natural curves of your spine, that's the choice. If it's works for you to maintain those natural curves of the spine with the outer ankle on the thigh, do so, and perhaps even bringing it towards your right hip joint. So wherever it is, you're going to take the belt and bring a loop around the ankle of the left foot. Then you're going to take that belt and slide it around to the space behind you and grab it with your left hand. So from here, activate especially that left foot, push up the big toe side, and lift up through the spine. And as you exhale, you're going to rotate to the left, keeping the spine nice and tall. Nice deep breaths here. Just using the bones of the arms to hold on, left to the belt and the right to press into your left thigh, knee area, both pushing it down and away. So you're opening the hip rotator by pushing the knee down without pain or no sharp pain, and then pushing against to create more of the twist, the rotation. Twists are so important in really liberating spaces between the vertebrae of the spine, which helps, of course, the nervous system, but also the whole circulation of energy up the spine, up the central channel. Preparing to come out of this now. Inhaling to reroot and lift. Exhale and unwind, letting go of the belt with the left hand. Remove the loop and stretch the leg out. Coming back to Dandasana, nice lifted spine. Bend the right knee, let the knee drop out, and again, decide on this side where you're going to place the lower leg and foot. Could be on the floor. It could be outer ankle right by the knee on the thigh, and it could be that the foot comes in towards the left groin area. Wherever it is, wrap the belt around the ankle, and then bring the belt over, through, and around the left side waist, hips area. Bring it back with the left hand, and then twist to the right, nice tall spine, and hand the belt off to the right hand. As you're twisting to the right, keep the spine long, vertical, and then use your left forearm, wrist area, to press down and against the right knee thigh area. And go into your breathing, long, slow, and smooth. Relaxing your jaw. Preparing to come out now, rooting down to lift up through the spine. On your exhale, unwind. Release the belt, release the foot and leg back out, and bring some movement to circulate that energy. And the next one we're going to do is to send the current of energy further up through the chest, neck, and throat area. So on this one, you may need a blanket, you may not. You will definitely need a block. So depending on the length of your torso and the flexibility of the upper back, middle upper back, you might have the block oriented towards having the second height here versus the third height or the first height. If your shorter torsoed, or there's a lack of flexibility in the chest and it would be too much for you, then just start out with a block in its flattest position. I'm going to try the second position, and the aim is to bring this from the base of the neck, not on the neck, but just below C7, that boniest part at the base of the neck, all the way to the place in between your shoulder blades. But buttocks are going to be on the ground and head's going to be on the ground on either side. So I have the flexibility but not the length in my spine, upper spine, so I will likely need a lift underneath my buttocks. That's where I choose to put it, or you could put it under your head. So you might use the hands to just guide yourself down. Make sure the tailbone's tucked, the lower back is long, and then come down. And you may have to do a few guesses here in order to get the head on the ground and feel that the top part of the block is not on the neck, but it's not weighed down between the shoulder blades either. So really trying to create a stretch through the neck, throat, and the front body, as well as all of the chest. So I just know from practice that for me, having a folded blanket underneath my buttocks gives me the length I need to have both the buttocks anchored and the head. So with the head, don't have a drop off of a 90 degrees. It's just a continuous arc from the chest, through the neck, throat, through the center of the head, out the crown. So maybe your head is positioned on the ground near the crown, but not right on the crown, because that would likely be a 90-degree drop off, which can do some pinching in through the nerves and the compressing of the back of the cervical or neck vertebrae. So wherever you're at, you can bring the arms in towards each other, opening up the shoulders a little more, and let the front of the shoulders drop down. If you don't have low back issues, or if you're not on a big curve, you can always stretch the legs out. Just make sure that's not aggravating it. Or you can keep the knees bent, or you can even do butterfly legs with the soles of the feet together, the knees dropping out to the side. If there's lower back issues, best to have the knees bent. Walk the feet away from each other so the knees drop and roll in towards each other. That creates a little more space in the sacral area. Now go to your breathing. If you get a better stretch by reaching the arms up overhead, as long as you have the back of the hands and or the forearms resting on something so you can really let go. This is a nice variation to open the shoulders more. Whole area of the chest, underneath the armpits. Just notice as you play around with options, making sure you can relax into the position. That's not possible if there's ever sharp pain. preparing to come out of this now. Stretch through the hands and arms, especially if they were overhead. Use your hands now to gently lift the head up. And then either pull up a little more or roll over to one side, enough so that you can release the support from underneath the back. And then come off any lift you might be on. Lie on your back in constructive rest position, just allowing the spine to come back to normal, and pay attention to the sensations and the subtle energies that you experience. Just close your eyes and notice sensation, subtle energy, and just affirm and feel how it feels for you. And take a nice full in-breath. And as you exhale, hug your left thigh into your chest, relaxing the shoulders, just stretching through the back here to integrate. Inhaling, releasing that foot back to the floor. And as you exhale, hug your right thigh into your chest. Inhale, release that foot back to the floor and rock the knees a little side to side. And then roll over to your side and come back up. And the last pose we're going to do is called caterpillar. And so this may be helpful to sit up on a lift if you like, and or have some blankets and or supports to put on your thighs, and perhaps a block for your head. So it's basically a forward fold. So if you want to stretch more through your lower back here, because that's an issue and it's hard to get to because of tight hamstrings, you can have a rolled blanket or any kind of towels underneath the back of your knees here. So that allows you to come forward more with the pelvis and to stretch more through the lower middle back than you might otherwise be able to if you have tight hamstrings. So from here, lift up through the sit bones, legs can be relaxed together, and as you exhale, lean the pelvis forward, then the belly, and then the upper back, and then the forehead rests on something. If you don't come far forward at all and there's nothing to rest your head on, just make sure it's not creating strain in the neck. You're not leading with the head. You're drawing the base of the skull and jawline back. And you're just going into the sensations you feel where you feel them. Returning to the long, slow, deep breaths. preparing to come out of this now. If you're folding forward enough and you have a lift underneath your forehead, lift the head, release that lift, come back up, and just pause with the spine upright. Now we're going to transition to final relaxation pose. So bring on board every and all props that will help you relax more deeply. And that could be a blanket for warmth, a lift underneath your knees, perhaps underneath the head if when you lie back your head chin is very much higher than your forehead. And in that case, just bring enough lift to align the head, not to make it so that it's the usual comfortable way. Over time, we want to create the comfort in the optimal position of the head aligned more to the back plane. So if you're used to having the head quite forward, then over time trying to adjust so that you get used to realigning it towards the back plane, and that becomes your go-to alignment that is comfortable. So perhaps an eye bag on the eye, if relaxing that. Once you're in position, nice and aligned symmetrically on either line of the spine, from the pelvic floor through the crown of the head, shift your awareness to watching your breathing. Let the breath be regular, just breathing you, and you simply watching it. Coming back when you get distracted. As soon as you notice you're no longer watching it. returning to your awareness of your physical body, taking some full deep breaths here. Sending it from the core area, full yogic breathing, into the periphery. Begin to stretch through your toes, feet, and ankles. Stretching the fingers, hands, and wrists. Rocking your head side to side. Stretching more fully through your arms, up through the shoulders, and the legs. Bringing your feet to the floor, rocking knees side to side to massage up the torso, spine. Then roll over to your side, pausing here in fetal position to notice what the internal experience is, and to gather and connect with your intention again. What was your intention for Purna Svara? Take that with you and transition upright into a seated or kneeling position. Anchor yourself to both the earth and the heavens. And then bring the palms together in prayer position to your heart. The integrated body, mind, and spirit within me bows to the integrated body, mind, and spirit within you. Namaste. Enjoy the benefits of the practice today. Take it out into your world and share that by being your beautiful self with others. Have a great week.